thing that people like they find in life that I always say, like, people are either going to make you grow or stay in the same place. And I think whoever you're around, if you're not growing, you're not learning. If you're not learning, you're not building. And I think it's comes to the point like when you get here and you got friends that are down here, it's almost the point where they expect you, like some people just, they start feeling bad where they feel, okay, well, I've got to like go back down to make them feel comfortable. And I'm like, fuck them. Like, if I'm up here, you got to catch the fuck up. Like, I'm not going to go back and lower. Like, I already went through that shit. And to me, as you said, there's no difference between, doesn't matter what job you're in or whatever. Like, it's a discipline to put in the work. And I think that's what I don't like now in the industry about social media. Because for you, like, how do you deal now with the success that you've had now? And people saying, hey, Shane, put me on. Put me on. Put me on Power. Put me on this, or give me an opportunity. How do you deal with that?
Well, I try to be, I don't answer everything, but I do try to answer most things. And I'll just be honest. I'll say, look, because those people just don't understand the way the industry works. Like, the person who cast me in this movie, actually going back to what you were saying earlier, is because I play baseball, right? So I was really into baseball, and I was up for the movie 42.
Wow, okay.
And I was close to getting it. I don't know how close, but I was in the mix, and it was going on for a while, like probably 6 weeks or so of back and forth. And Vicky Thomas cast it. Well, Vicky Thomas cast Power. And so she brought me in because she was like, oh, this guy's great. And I can't remember why I was telling you that. Why was I telling you that? I've been drinking too much, dude.
Hold that thought while you catch it. Guys, don't forget, if you're just joining us tonight, welcome to another edition of Sunday Service. I'm your host, DTEFLON, on the MIC, HotTopicsCelebTV.com. Tonight, joining us in the building, the infamous, the legendary Shane Johnson, a.k.a. Cooper Sachs, from the Power series and Power Book 2. If you guys have a question for Shane, please drop it in the comments below. You can follow me at DTEFLON and drop me a message, comments. You can also follow Shane on Instagram. You can find us on iHeartRadio. Don't forget, each and every Tuesday night, it's Hot Topics Radio TV After Dark, and every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Hollywood actors, directors, producers in conversation. Continue.
Man, you got that down. This is what I was going to say is that I just am honest. I'm like, look, that's not the way it works. Because my point in telling you the story about Vicky Thomas and the casting director is that I actually went and auditioned for Vicky, who's incredible and obviously has changed my life. I auditioned for her a couple years later for some other project, and I was like, hey, thank you so much for helping me get on Power. And she was like, oh, is that still on? Like, she cast the pilot and she's moving on with her life. So totally different casting directors. We've had like maybe 4 or 5 different groups of casting directors, right?
Okay.
And so for somebody to reach out to me and go, hey, I want to be on Power. I think I could this or that. It's like, that's awesome. And I hope that happens for you. But I'm an actor too. Like, I can't call up the casting director and say, hey, somebody reached out to me on Instagram and they said that they're right for this role. Like, that never happens. That never happens. And what I can do is say, look, if you're serious about being an artist, about being an actor, I can turn you on to a path that can lead you to what you're after, which is why it's one of my things I'm really proud of is like, there's recently, I studied with Richard Lawson.
Yeah, I was about to get into that next. Tell people about your school, Richard Lawson Studios.
Yeah, so I just recently turned somebody on to him, and then they didn't know anything about it, but they went and started studying with Richard, and they just booked their first TV show, right? And this is over the course of maybe 3 or 4 months. They went from going, hey, how do I do this, to me going, please give these guys a phone call, let them know that I sent you, because I'm part of the team, right? I'm part of this studio, and they'll look out for you. And now the person's working in the industry, and it's like, to me, that's so worthwhile. But to try to bypass the work and to try to bypass the system and just have somebody go like, here you go. It just really doesn't work that way unless you're related to somebody that is producing something, then call them for sure.
But do you feel like that? Do you feel it's a slap in the face when, like I get it all the time when people, what I find now, like we live in an era of entitlement. Like people feel that they're owed this, where you, me, and many of others who have gone through that journey have had to put in the work. We've got to get our ass kicked. We've got to get shit on. We've got to get, dirt thrown in our faces. Do you feel that it's a slap in the face when there's people that either want to bypass it, or you see people that are bypassing it because now, as you said, like the business is not, it's not even about talent anymore. It's about fucking social media numbers. How many followers do you have? How many likes do you have? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck how many likes you have. Like, to me, like likes and followers, unless you've got $1 million in the bank from those million followers, it means nothing. So how do you deal now with the industry, as changing with, especially even now COVID times, where, as you said, before there was over 500 different productions out there. Now things have gotten smaller. And now you're seeing, obviously, when we started, there was daytime, there was prime time, and then there was motion picture film. And you sort of, you have to make a choice. Either I'm going to go into daytime, I'm going to go into prime time to hopefully lead me to film. But now it's like you're seeing and commercials. And now you're seeing like the biggest names in the industry. Take, for example, your show, that are now coming on these primetime shows and taking away, like, for example, like if a Denzel Washington wanted to be on Power, he could be on fucking Power. But then that means for the other actor who's on the grind is probably not even going to get seen or called because Denzel wants to be in the movie. So, like, for you, have you ever been in a position where, like, you wanted something but didn't get it, and it was taken by, somebody that you felt that either wasn't deserving or didn't earn it or wasn't even as good?
I mean, I have felt that way so many times in my career. I mean, not in the last decade, because I just have moved off of that. That's kind of, when I was younger, I would go up for something that I was really passionate about, and I was just like, filled my heart with like, oh my God, this is happening. This is it. And then, like, I remember, here's an example of one. I was up for this thing on the West Wing, and I was like, oh shit, this is happening, and it was feeling like it was going to happen, right?
Okay.
And it was a great arc. And then at the last minute, that Matthew Perry stepped in and was like, oh, I want to do it. And so Matthew Perry got it. And then he got nominated for an Emmy for it, right? And I'm like, good for him. I'm not complaining about that, but I'm just like, oh, this fucking business, because if it comes down to it, and this is what we're talking about, and I get it. There's it is a business. It's show business. So they're going, look, Matthew Perry is going to draw more eyes than Shane Johnson. And that's true. I would put my acting, I'm not criticizing his acting, but I'm saying, but I would go toe to toe with Matthew Perry as an actor. But that actually doesn't even enter into the equation. That's not the point. The point is that he's Matthew Perry. And I have to just respect that and go like, hey man, that's the business. So to your point earlier, yes, it fucking sucks that we're in this Instagram, TikTok sort of world where somebody can come out and do some cool little funny video about their dog. And all of a sudden they have 400,000 followers, and they're an influencer now because they did some funny meme, or they took a basketball shot from across the street and they made it, or they flipped a bottle and it landed on the lid, or whatever the fuck it is. And now they're an influencer, and you're going, holy shit, I spent 40 years developing a craft, and I just got bypassed by somebody. You know what I mean?
No, and it's true, because I see it every day, and I just go like, and that's why I said, like, to me, the industry, it's like a time warp right now. Like you don't even, I don't even know what direction sometimes it's going, because it's like when you see people getting passed up, for opportunities, and I don't care about myself. I even have friends where I'm like, how? Like how? Like what are these agents even in and casting directors, like what is really their focal point? Is it so for you? Like, how do you deal with, or have you ever had a situation even on Power? Have you ever picked up a bad script where you just really weren't feeling the material, but you had to say it anyway? What's your approach to that?
I love that question because I feel like as actors, it's important for us to approach material from the standpoint of, and this is a Richard Lawson thing,
Mm-hmm.
is that the author is a genius until proven otherwise, right?
Okay.
So what that means to me is do everything, because a lot of actors will come in and go like, oh, I wouldn't say it this way. I wouldn't do that. Oh, that doesn't feel right to me, or this is better. And it's like, you know what? You're putting
Hold
your
on.
own.
A fan just said. Oh, sorry. I'll go back to that. A fan just said, guys, watching Possession of Michael King. If you didn't get this, the acting of Shane is legendary, and it's true,
So
guys. If you
nice.
haven't seen that
Thank you.
film, you need to watch it. Continue, bro.
Um, and so anyway, I think that God, what was I saying? I've got to stop, slow down. Hold on, I need my breaks, dude.
Don't worry, man. Take your time. This is like drink champs right now. God damn it.
Damn it. I actually don't remember what I was saying. Um, Thank you for the comment about the Michael King. That's awesome. But no, anyway, I just feel like we have to, God, what was I talking about?
You were talking
Oh,
about
you were talking about finding material. You're talking about
yes,
material that you want to
material, and
say.
what you do
That's
with a
right.
bad script.
And so I feel like it's important to do everything you can to find a way to elevate the material.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like synergy, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the author gives you something, and you may judge it, but you shouldn't, ideally. I mean, granted, listen, we've all had those scripts, especially like sometimes you'll get these indie scripts that you're like, oh my God, this is fucking terrible, right? And maybe those are the things that if you're not desperate, that you just go, I'm not auditioning for this.
Okay.
Or you go in and you go, you know what? I'm gonna elevate the shit out of this material and show them and help them by bringing synergy between what their vision is
Okay.
and what I can bring to it. And hopefully we find a kind of happy marriage of they go, holy shit, it's not exactly what I wrote, but it's actually better than what I wrote. That's okay. But I think that the most important thing is to start from a place of how do I make this material my own?
Mm-hmm.
I'll admit something to you. Actually, I did have a script. I did have a script recently that I was like, no,
Was
this
this
is
on
not.
Power or is this a different project? On
I'm not
Power or
going to
different?
say. I'm not going to
Okay.
say. But I was like, no, this is not in line with who I am. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
mean me, I mean who the character is, right?
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, so how do I wrap my creative brain around this? And so what I did is I went to the writer and I went to the
Mm-hmm.
director and I was like, so listen, which is, by the way, very uncomfortable to do. And I was like, I don't think I would do this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think my character would say